Hello and welcome back to Through the Ashes. We have arrived in Defender's Heart and we are all alive. All of our original people that we had with us. We have the horse, we have the dwarf, we have the halfling, we have our sorcerer. We're all alive. Well, except from anybody who wasn't in our party. They're dead. They're very dead. Bamir, who was apparently like a mobster who killed people and was awaiting being hanged. What was the other one? Brody. He's also dead. We cured him of his disease and he died on the way here. Inai died after finding out that all of her hospital mates were dead. Langrat might be alive because he never came with us. So maybe he's alive somewhere. Who knows? I suspect he is also dead. But yeah, we've kind of ended this in a very weird way. We're not quite where I suspect that they thought you would be at this point. Which is going to be interesting if there's a second DLC that leads on from this one, whether it expects you to have any characters remaining. Because, you know, it might, you know? That's the kind of thing that they might expect you to have. Returning characters with continuing storylines. But no, none of that for us. We are just our little party. But we're also level 5, so, you know, don't let the negatives drag us down. Time to level up. Right. I'm going to take another point in Fighter. I know we're falling behind in Cavalier in terms of our horse level, but we can fix that next time we get a feat. Oh, look at that. We're getting a feat this level. Isn't that well planned? We also get a bonus combat feat, so this seems pretty good. One new skill, Athletics. We failed our Athletics and Mobility checks last episode, which meant that Anai died. I'm almost intrigued enough about the DLC to go back and play it again with all of the characters and then see whether there's a way of getting them through alive and see just how different it is. I'm assuming it won't be that different, and I'm assuming the reason why we got pushed to level 5 when we arrived at the Defender's Heart was not because we're going to need it, but more because they assume you're going to hit level 5 before the end of the DLC, and it's just like a safe thing for anybody who doesn't, you know. So they can start the next DLC assuming that you're starting at level 5, if that makes sense. So, yeah, we'll see how this goes. And I think if you'd finished all the quests, you would probably be at level 5 anyway. Let's do Boon Companion. So this is going to push our Animal Companion up 2 levels, I think. Yeah. And then here... I don't really know what we want to take. We don't want to take any weapon focusy stuff, because we're kind of switching weapons and that's useful. Shield focus could be okay, increase AC, although we don't use a shield anymore. Outflank is really good. Yeah, I'm going to take Outflank. It's incredible. If we can get any other person, like for instance the horse, outflank, that'll just be fantastic. So let's do the horse level next, or the horse levels. Right. Do that. We'll take a point in. That allows us to take teamwork feats as the horse. And then 1 in athletics, 1 in mobility. Cool. And that's it. Next up, 1 in athletics, 1 in mobility. Although I wasn't taking athletics, I was taking percent. Whatever. We'll take 1 in athletics, 1 in mobility. I think that's probably better. And then we want to take outflank, assuming it's available. Outflank is not available, but Precise Strike is. I'm guessing we don't have a high enough base attack bonus for Outflank. I'll just search Teamwork. Yeah, we don't have a high enough base attack bonus yet, but Precise Strike is still good. That gives us 1d6 points of precision damage with each successful melee attack, assuming that Dolgrin is attacking the same thing, which works pretty well. Yeah, go with that. Right, so the horse is leveled up.
No time
Next
for
up,
standing around.
Rikarth. He gets his level 5. Level 5's not too exciting. He does, however, get an extra level of sneak attack, which is great. And then he gets a feat. So we'll take a point in each of these. Now, Piranha Strike. That one's interesting. -1 on melee attack rolls, but you gain a +2 bonus on all melee damage rolls. Now, the reason why you might not want to go with Piranha Strike is that he gets a lot of his damage from sneak attack, so it's almost better to not take it because you want to more consistently hit to trigger sneak attack over and over and over again. But given that he also wants to be flanking permanently, Oh, we can't take it. Okay, because it's not available here. I was going to say outflank would be perfect, but I think he probably also doesn't have a high enough base attack. Yeah, also doesn't have a high enough base attack. Outflank would have been perfect, though, because he always wants to be flanking and always wants to be flanking Dolgrin's target, so that would have been good. Anyway, given we can't take it, I don't think Piranha strikes it. Do we have anything that's going to make our attacks more accurate? This one's interesting. Invisible attacker gets no advantages to hitting you. You don't lose your dexterity bonus to armor class, and the attacker doesn't get +2 bonus for being invisible. Okay. You get immunity to gaze attacks as well, and if you miss because of concealment, you can re-roll your attack. That's kind of good. What's double slice? Add your strength bonus. Not interested. Not interested whatsoever, because we use dex. Keep pen down here to see if there's anything else that seems good. Precise strike would be okay. The reason why we might not want to take it here is because in theory Dolgrin's going to be giving everyone the teamwork feat with his like his special thing. So giving everybody precise strike means his special thing basically does nothing. Oh, although wait a second. Wait a second.
Don't know, don't care.
Aha! We can give everybody outflank now. Oh, that's cool. Okay, so there is a reason to give people that. The reason why you might give them precise strike is because now we're going to give people outflank with this special one. Yeah. Yeah, let's do that. So an extra 1d6 points of damage. Although 1d6 isn't that high. It's good for the horse, but for your actual characters, is it that good? Is there anything else we could take? Stealthy? +2 bonus on all mobility and stealth skill checks. If you have 10 or more ranks in these skills, the bonus increases by +4. Well, we're working on it. I think that's okay. I think stealthy is actually fine. Especially if the second DLC carries on the same way this one does. Yeah, let's take stealthy. I think that's actually really good. It's not as exciting an option as some of the other ones for combat, but pushing our stealth and our mobility up is going to be very useful in the long run, I think.
So many thoughts,
now,
so little time.
We do have penalties to our ability scores here. Like, pretty significant penalties to our ability scores. This, I think, does affect level ups somewhat, because I believe it takes whatever your current ability score is for level ups. And I know this because apparently if you wear one of the belts that gives you a buff to your ability scores, it allows you to pass prerequisites for feats, which is also apparently something you can do in the tabletop version. It's a little bit weird. But we're just going to hope there's no feats that pop up that need us to have a higher con or dex, but it's something to think about. So at level 5, what do we get? We get Loremaster. We can take 10 on any knowledge or lore skill check that we have ranks in. Can also choose not to take 10 and roll normally. So basically, it would if we have an auto pass, we take like if we would auto pass if we take 10, then we will auto pass, which is good. Haunting Refrain. At 5th level, the Dirge Barge is able to stir primal terrors in the hearts of listeners. He gains a bonus on Intimidate checks equal to half his level. In addition, he gains a +2 bonus to DC on spells with fear effects. That's very cool. And our Inspire Courage gets better. This seems like a fantastic level for us. Let's go Persuasion, Perception, Knowledge, World. Now, it did say we can take 10 in anything we have a point in. So you could be like, maybe it's worth putting a point in here, because then we can take 10 and auto-pass. But I think if somebody else already has a higher value, I'm not going to bother, but it's just something to think about. Trickery is probably worth a point in. And then maybe mobility? I don't know. What was I putting my last point into otherwise? Probably, I think I put mostly mobility, but I put 1 in here so I could use scrolls. Yes, let's go mobility again. Although Rikarth is now really good at mobility. Maybe I'll go use magic device. Maybe I'll go further into here, because there is a benefit to him having a larger value in combat for use magic device. Feet. Now, we could take a weapon focus for our weapon, because we know what weapon we're going to be using. We're going to be using the rapier for a +1 on attack rolls. It's not bad. It means we hit more often. Is there anything else which we think would be good for us? Dodge would be good. Extra performances. That's effectively 18 rounds extra of Inspire Courage per day. It's not bad. I think that might be actually very sensible. Yeah, you know what? I'll take my 18 extra rounds, because each time we use it is 3 rounds, so yeah, that seems good. And then here, is there anything that causes fear? Because now we have a benefit to it. Scare. There you go. Although, that's creatures of less than 6 hit dice, so that's not going to be that useful going forward. What other level 2 ones would we want? Invisibility is quite useful if we want somebody to stealth in somewhere. Maybe we'll take invisibility so we can give other people stealth. That seems useful. There we go. Cool. That can probably sit over here. It's not something we're going to use immediately. Oh, right. So we would have to click that, and then that gives us either the 10 or... Okay, so we would need to work out how difficult we think the check is beforehand. This seems like a save scum button. It's the, oh, I only needed a 10 to pass. Oop, I'm going to get it next time. It doesn't really seem like something that we'll have on permanently, but I don't know. Maybe at one point our knowledge and lore skills will be so high that we'll be like, yeah, this makes sense. We'll do that.
I will
Right.
not falter.
Next up, we have Antel, who is going to get a Crusader bonus feat at this level. Okay. We got one in there, one in there. Use magic device. So, what are we thinking for him? The problem with this guy is that right now he was kind of useful because of Zap. I'm not entirely sure what we're going to do with him going forward. Maybe we try and get him... oh, he already has Precise Shot? I was going to say get him Precise Shot, but he already has it. Maybe get him something that lets him hit more often with his weapon. Maybe that would be useful. Yeah. Deadly Aim as a minus on hit. That seems bad. What else have we got in here? Extra channel for Cleric. Not that useful, but we could take it. Oh, is it called this? Selective? Selective channel. We don't have enough charisma to do selective channel. Okay. So this one allows us to not affect enemies, which would be very nice. However, we can't take it because our charisma is too low. So I guess I should have given our Crusader more charisma in hindsight, but hey, there you have it. Rapid Shot's still not going to be that good. -2 on attack rolls for 1 extra attack. Probably not going to be that useful. See if we've got anything else that's obviously good. Spell penetration could be good, but we don't really use aggressive spells on this one. I mean, you could take an exotic weapon if there's anything in here that's interesting. Let's just see what we got. Nah, nothing. And we don't have any exotic weapons anyway that we want to use except for the Bastard Sword, which I don't even know if we still have. Dodge is pretty good as like a single point for an extra AC, and our Cleric does have fairly high AC, so we could maybe make our Cleric frontliner at some point. See what other options we have here. Heavy armor is also a kind of an interesting thing, because our Cleric doesn't really care about the arcane armor penalty, so you could just wear heavy armor 100% of the time. The problem is the dex limiter on heavy armor, but we can maybe work ourselves around that one. But we're fine with our medium armor anyway right now. We could take armor focus for medium armor, giving ourselves more AC with the medium armor, which would be okay. Yeah. Especially if we were thinking about making our character a melee one. Allied Spellcaster. Bonus on concentration checks and level checks made to overcome spell resistance. Again, it's okay. I don't know. Maybe I go for... Oh, Cautious Fighter. When fighting defensively, your dodge bonus is increased by 2. We're not doing that, but that's interesting again. I don't know. I guess I'll take 1 point of armor bonus. I think that's better than dodge. So yeah, we'll take that for just now. Oh, and then we get another one here. I forgot we get one immediately. Could make it ourselves proficient with tower shields. Then you're just like a solid block at the front. Don't think we need to do that. Give ourselves weapon focus with the heavy crossbow on the other hand. +1 on attack rolls. Then focus on being in with the heavy crossbow. Yeah. Just be somebody who can go melee but is mostly ranged. I think that was probably more useful. And then we get a bunch of new spells apparently. Although I don't know if we actually get these at this level.
I stand ready.
We do not. No, I think we get them next level. I think it's because we're Crusader Cleric.
I'm up for an adventure.
You, Sorcerer. Level 5 gets us resist energy. So we get extra energy resistance against acid, cold, electricity, fire, or sonic, or whichever one it is. Yeah, 3rd level you gain resist 5 acid and resist cold. Resist acid 5 and resist cold 5. And then at this level, oh, we gain the spell resist energy, I think. Okay, interesting. Grab those two. So perception and lore nature. Although, actually, was I maybe going to use magic devices instead of lore nature on the assumption that Sentry would be better? I think that's what I was doing. Right. And then here, greater spell penetration. We are actually hitting enemies, so that makes sense. And we had a few problems with that previously. Level 1 spells. What do we currently have at level 1? We have Bless, Burning Hands, Hurricane Bow, and Magic Missile. Okay. Thinking what we need on top of that. Another Grease wouldn't hurt, but I don't think it's necessary. Mage Armor is kind of useful. Yeah, I think Mage Armor is kind of useful. The buff will now last 5 hours, so that's very reasonable. Ooh, Command Undead. Any undead creature fight on your side as if it were your ally for a will save. It will attack opponents to the best of its ability, however intelligent creatures will throw off domination, making a will save each round. But if it's just a dumb undead, then that's pretty good. So currently we got Stone Calm, resist energy. We don't have any direct damage. Maybe Burning Arc would be good here. Although demons tend to have resistances against elemental stuff. But we could do it anyway. We have fought a lot of humans in this DLC. Molten Orb as well. I mean, Burning Arc's okay. Bone Shaker's quite good for a single target. 3d6 points of damage plus 1d6 per 2 caster levels. Yeah, this seems okay. Well, let's take Bone Shaker. That seems fine. Wait, so what does this actually do? Yeah, I think it just gives us the spell. Yeah, it gives us resist energy as a spell now. That can disappear over here. That can disappear over here. That can join them. I'm just working out where I need all my spells to be. Yeah, actually, you come over here for just a second. You're also a buff. I'm just going to move my buffs away a little bit. Right. Move these up. Does this one scale? Yes, it does. Okay, cool. That can go in here. Move these one over. This is this is me putting my higher level spells here in an attempt to get me to actually use higher level spells, opposed to just using the cantrips over and over and over again, because they're free, you know. As a buff as well, so we'll stick that there. Cool. And then Sentry gets a level up. Slightly different sorcerer, who is very, very good at Snowball. In fact, that's pretty much all Sentry does. I think we do this, use Magic Device to Narcissus, and let Sentry have lower nature, just for just now anyway. Right. Greater spell focus. Can add more difficulty class to Conjuration. Might not be a bad idea, actually. Just go even further into Conjuration. What do we get here? We get a Seeker bonus feat. Okay, cool. Can we take greater spell focus there? We can indeed. Okay, so I don't think we need to do anything else with that, if we can already take it. We can make our summons better. I mean, we do have conjuration as a bonus, so that would be fine. But I think spell penetration is the obvious one here. And then conjuration to make add difficulty class to conjuration spells. Spell specialization, we can't take snowball again. So what's this do? Creature cast level as being 2 levels higher. So some of these don't scale, that's the thing. Like, that doesn't scale. I would love to see what the abilities do as well. Does Acid Arrow scale? Do I even have Acid Arrow? I don't think I do. I don't think I have some monsters either. Mage Armor, though. Mage Armor scales. We could take Mage Armor. Mainly just because it scales. That's my whole reason for taking it, is I know that it works. Yeah, so that'll now be 7 hours of Mage Armor, which is probably too many, but, you know, it's fine. Well, this is a conjuration one. For every 3 cast levels you possess, up to a maximum of 6 additional rounds at that. Okay. Yeah, but the damage doesn't scale. Just the number of rounds it's applied does. Yeah, okay. Got any other conjuration ones in here? Stone's Call is conjuration? Yeah, again, it doesn't scale. So it doesn't matter that, you know, it's there. Like, if it doesn't scale, then it's not going to do anything. These also don't really scale. Okay. Scorching Ray would be good for some solid damage. Yeah, I think Scorching Ray makes sense for some solid damage here. The Scorching Ray is 1 ray plus 1 additional ray for every 4 levels beyond the 3rd, which we haven't got to yet, but it's a ranged touch attack that does 4d6 points of fire damage. That seems good. Yeah. I don't think I've done anything crazily bad there. It's fine. And the horse is already leveled. Cool. I need to rearrange these. I'm not going to bother, but I need to. Right. Select everyone. So these are just Eagle Watch Crusaders. We kind of stood here for a while, kind of awkwardly. Not entirely sure what was up with that. I kind of thought maybe we were meant to be in a conversation, but maybe not. Oh, also, can we rest here? We cannot rest here. Okay. Anevia, hello. Ah, there you are. An unassuming woman in dusty clothes scrutinizes you, her eyebrows raised. Anevia is the name. Rakarth told me about your little stroll across the city. Not bad at all. Ever thought about joining an order? There are plenty of free spots in the Eagle Watch right now. Just saying. Ooh, really? That is wonderful. No one's asked me to become a knight before. I wonder why. I thought orders would be lining up to get a talent like you into their ranks. That's exactly what I thought, but hey-ho, it doesn't matter. He gives you a playful wink. At least now they have finally seen our true worth. Ah, okay, so if we join the Eagle Watch, then that was maybe how the next one carries on. Join the Eagle Watch? Sure, why not? Now we're talking. But you rest up for now. After that trek, you've earned it. Don't worry about the heart. We ain't gonna let nobody in. Tomorrow I'll tell you what we've got going on here. And when I think tomorrow I'll tell you what we've got going on here. When I can think straight. I don't know what you think being part of an order is like, but prepare to be disappointed. Can I help with the tavern defense? You and Rakarth already did your bit when you delivered that information. I'll do nobody any good if you go roaring into battle, staggering from exhaustion, heroically fall onto the occultist blades. I appreciate the offer, I really do, but it's best if you rest now. We'll manage, don't you worry about us. So you're the person who trained Rakarth? He's tough. Right, my school taught him everything he knows. Anevia grins with satisfaction, nodding. My school, and the streets of Canabris. This city teaches you things they ain't ever heard about in no university. I don't know what they get up to in these universities, Sendri says with a dismissive wave of his hand. I've never gotten as far as the doorstep of any of them. They all gab nonsense about high standards of scholarship and about rules for setting out manuscripts, how wide the margins ought to be, what colour of ink to use. I would think that a true academic should be able to work out such things for themselves. Well, it's true. Well, if that's true, then this journey alone should be worth at least one dissertation. Rakarth smirks at Sendri as he usually does, but there's no malice in it this time. He's still basking in the afterglow of Anevia's pride, or praise. I heard you died during the demon attack. Don't worry about it. It's not the first time people thought I was a goner. Anevia laughs. Desna willing it won't be the last. After our visitors from the wound came calling, I had to go on a little stroll just like you lot. But I'm not as easy to bury as some people would like to think. I'm going now. Uh-huh. Go on and put your feet up. So we're now joining the Eagle Watch. That's cool. I'm also thinking maybe something goes horribly wrong and we don't get the option to join the Eagle Watch. Hello. You arrived with the group of escapees, didn't you? Praise Abadar that you managed to escape those criminals and make it here. The portly old man smiles warmly at you, Abadar's sacred symbol gleaming on his chest. I am Vasali Rathamus. If you need the help of a cleric, I'm at your service. Who are you? Vasali Rathamus, as sworn servant of Abadar. I was the prior of the Temple of Abadar in Cadabras while it stood. I am prior of only a bag of scrolls, but that's alright. Our Lord helps those who rebuild cities from the ashes. You're selling scrolls? Can't you help the victims of this calamity for free? Alas, I cannot. The giving of alms is a sin before Abadar. If the people become inured to receiving things for free, they will seek to work hard. That will spell the end of everything. Skilled trades, commerce, cities, civilization itself. Do not ask me to give anything away for free, for I cannot. You Abadarans are a miserable lot. All of civilization will collapse as a result of one good turn indeed. What about being a good neighbor? Does your god of cities not teach you that? Do not confuse two different things. He sagely raises a finger. Being a good neighbor is one thing. Cultivating parasites is another. Alright, I need the help of a cleric. Yeah, really be a parasite to, give people a few scrolls while they, like a demon invasion is happening. Alright, so he actually sells, like, a ton of scrolls. Conman's Ring. I think he sells exactly what he sells in the, main game, which makes sense, really. Let's sell him that. Ooh. Is one of these better? These are roughly exactly the same, except this is worse. Oh wait, this is one-handed? That probably means I can get rid of my light hammer. Yeah. Okay. Still keeping our great sword for some reason, but that's alright. Sell that one. Actually, I'll use the tower shield if I ever switch to shield. Although, actually, yeah, I could use the shield for someone else. Sell those. Sell that. Oh, bulk selling as well. Oh, we also have our braces of armor. Cool. We can't afford any of this. It's way too expensive because it's meant for a main character, not for the likes of us. Oh yeah, he sells all sorts. Hey, he probably has rainbow quartz. We could make some potions of restore. Oh, she's dead. Yeah, forgot. Don't need any of these scrolls right now. I think we're okay. Yeah, and we could buy some of these recipes. Let's buy a recipe. Why not? Deal. Right. And then I will learn the recipe. I also think his dialogue is roughly the same as the dialogue from... roughly the same as the dialogue from the main campaign. It's only Sendry's bit that was different, I think. Although he did have something to say afterwards, but maybe you can have a character that says what Sendry said. Hello. I believe that help is already on the way. The Queen will not leave us to die. Yeah, definitely not.
Wherever my legs carry me.
Knowledge world check.
Oh, did you see that?
Songs were sung from the stage until very recently. Now it is empty. But who knows? Perhaps music will return to this place once more. Appropriate for a bard. Staunton. Minago, that cursed fiend. Why has she come back? To the abyss with all of it. Definitely gonna grab that. Ooh, scroll of barkskin. Okay. Storyteller?
No, backwards! Backwards!
So many stories have become intertwined within the city. I can feel somewhere nearby another one of them is approaching its turning point. Now, is it talking about our one, or is it talking about the main character's one? Who knows? Bartender? New arrivals, make yourself at home. The pallid Damphir gives you an uninterested once-over with his blood-filled eyes. What'll it be? Ooh, look at the eyes on him. Like chips of ice. Barkeep, if you'd be so kind, stare a little longer at my tankard. I like my beer extra cold. An irritated snort, the Dampier turns away from Sendry. How are things in the tavern? All the others in the city have closed, so things aren't going too bad considering. War is bad for some, but it means big business for others, Gemmel? You! The Dampier points a pale finger accusingly at Rekarth. Swipe 2 bottles of wine and a whole ham. I should throw you out. Come on, that was 20 years back. I paid you back a long time ago. Are you going to keep bringing that up for the rest of my life? Yes. Do you think this place will hold up under the cultist attack? The tavern? No, but that lot. He nods at the knights gathered around. Oh, they'll do it. This is their last chance. Show me what you got. So he sells potions and stuff. I'll buy the recipe. Not that I know that we need recipes, but no, it's a habit. Might as well buy the recipes because then we can use them later if we need them, and they don't cost too much. You're not? I think, yeah, you're a cleric of Erastil. May Erastil watch over you, valiant crusaders. May watch over us all. Born Autumn Haze is a hunter of the Drow. Demon's minions are celebrating victory, but they won't escape vengeance. Down the stairs? Wait a second. In here? Ah, no Woljif. Also knowledge world check. It seems someone was being held behind these bars very recently. A prisoner. Woljif. Right, and then this is a place where we can rest. We can wait, we can go outside? Really? How far outside can we go? So we have Yoren Vane. Welcome to the Forge of Yoren Vane. It's nice to see new faces around here every day. Looks like the city of ours isn't dead yet. Yoren, you old geezer. Good to see that you're still alive and kicking. No demon attack's gonna bring down the Vane brothers, eh? After all the things you've come up against over the years. We're alive, true enough. Trust me, I'd gladly give up my life to save a few less hardened folk. But death doesn't take requests. My brother and I are still here if you want to call that good luck or bad, so be it. Tell me about yourself. There's not much to tell. I've been a smith for years. I used to work in Dresden before. Then the trouble came, the city fell, and I had to pick up and move to Canabras. Now the demons have decided to come here. God's willing, we'll drive them off this time. It's a good town, Canabras. It'd be a shame to hand it over to the beast from the abyss. Did you witness the fall of Dresden yourself? I did, and I wish I hadn't. I'm not going to talk about it, so don't ask. It was terrifying and ugly to witness. That's all I can tell you. I'm sure you acted most heroically. Instead of an answer, Yoren's mouth twists into a painful grimace. Show me your wares. So we can buy a bunch of stuff from him now, which is cool. You can buy all the weapons that you could buy in the base game. There's like a really good dagger he has, isn't there? Yeah, the attrition dagger. I think it is. Detainer, that one's okay, but this one I think was good for a while. Yeah, once per round when it lands a hit on an enemy, it deals them 1 con damage. Which is, you know, not bad. I mean, we're nowhere near able to afford anything worthwhile, but still interesting. Might as well loot this place as well. There's almost like an interesting thing you could do, like an interesting, I'm trying to think if it could be a mod or something like that. Where
What's in wait for me there?
You have to play these two stories intertwined. Like you play the main character and these guys' stories. And then like the only bits where they interact are the loot. And it's is there any loot left after one of them's gone through? Yeah, I'd say we already got all the loot here. I think there's less loot out here than there was in the main story.
This way.
There's a lot of Sunrise Sword archers as well. Right. Head this way. We can't rest out here, can we? No. Which really makes me think that this is saying, like, your final rest will be in the basement. Right. Well, I suspect this is the end of the DLC. Let's see. How are they faring without us, I wonder? Perhaps we should go up and lend a hand. Urbeth said to sit tight down here. So we're gonna stay here and not get in anybody's way. Hey, what are you doing? Well, maybe then. Ow, my eye. Something is coming. I can feel it. Something very, very bad. Oh, it's these guys. And whoever this guy is. Ah. You're here for me, aren't you? Well then, take me, but leave the others alone. Come on, put down your little toy. Where are we going?
There he is on yonder hill. I bet he's pulling some awful faces at us from under that ridiculous mask. Yup. Let's wallop him so he sends us back and troubles us no more.
This is gonna really cause a problem for us joining the Eagle Watch if we're in some unknown icy hellscape.
Hold on. Aren't you going to explain any of this? Where are we? Who is that fool in the mask, and what does he want from us?
I don't know. I swear I don't.
You said he was after you, so you do know something after all.
I can make a pretty good guess, more like. You see, how do I explain it? I swear on my fluffy socks that I don't know what I've got myself tangled up in. That fellow's been on my tail for days and days, even before I got to Canabras. I could sense his presence deep in my gut, and that's all I know. I bet he's got something nasty in mind. Hey, you! Why don't you come down here and tell us who you are and what you want from us?
The cultist on the hill raises his arm, and Sentry freezes. The bandage falls from his face, revealing that the eye beneath is glowing with an icy light, much like the light of the cold, deadened sky above your heads. Sentry convulses, clutches his throat, and is seized by violent coughing. When the coughing subsides, Sentry's lips begin to move, but the words that emerge are not his own.
At last you're mine. You will pay for making me chase after you for so long. You tried to deny me what was mine by right. And the rod, my rod, you will pay for that.
Sentry's terrified eyes dart between you and the cultist speaking through him. Who are you? Name yourself.
My face is hidden. My name shrouded in secret. I am a servant of the Great One, and a vessel for his might. I am nothing, but I am destined for greatness.
There are some things that ring familiar here. Face being hidden, saying that they're nothing. Sounds awfully familiar to the masked people that, that Nenio runs into. But this guy has a little bit more personality. A little bit more self-will.
The usual cultist gabble. Sounds mysterious, but it's just empty words.
Who do you serve?
The mortals have forgotten the name of the Great One. They will remember it. They will remember it and tremble. Hear the name of my master and yours, doomed ones. Sithar.
Huh? I thought he was gonna say Baphomet or Deskari. Sith who? That's a new one for me.
Same for me. How long have you been following us?
Not you. The gnome. A long time. Too long.
I mean, it's very nice for this guy to keep giving us answers. Where are we?
In the abyss. In the kingdom of my master. Your master too. The master of all worlds.
Yeah, I'm not sure we're happy about being in the abyss. What do you want from us?
From you, I want you to die. From the gnome, I want a stolen treasure. Something he acquired by chance. Great power. It is mine. Mine.
What treasure do you want to take from Sendri?
It is something that came into his possession by chance. Something he does not understand. A shard of the Great One's power. The same power resides within me. But I mastered it. I absorbed it. I learned its ways. Once I have gathered all the shards, my master will be reborn.
Ha! Maybe I didn't know how to wield this power, but I swear on my bandaged eye that I will soon learn. Thanks for keeping him talking. While he was poking around in my head, I was poking around in his. Alright then, let's get ourselves back home before he gains the upper hand again.
Sendri raises his hand and the cultist copies the movements like a puppet. A portal opens before you.
Whose side are you even on? What's going on here?
I'm on our side, of course. Who else's? As for what's going on, I heard the same as you. That scoundrel serves someone called Sithod. No doubt a hideous creature with a name like that. He carries within him a piece of this Sithod's power, and it seems I do too. I don't have a clue what's going on, but everything's relatively clear. Alright, enough chit-chat. This villain will come to at any moment and close the portal. Get going. Shoo! Don't you worry about me. I'll be sticking around here.
We have no reason to stay here. Come back with us.
No! Remember what happened with the Inquisitors? I understand now. It was my fault. Well, it wasn't exactly my fault, but that rotten scoundrel was after me, and others suffered for it. And the same thing happened in the tavern. That one in the mask won't leave me alone. He'll find me wherever I go, and he'll kill another lot of innocent bystanders in the process.
Trying to play the hero? You'll die here for nothing. Can't you come up with a smarter idea? If I were you, I'd go back, round up some of my pals, and set a trap for this creep. Actually, you know what? I don't give a damn. Do what you want. If you were a little bit smarter, you'd stick with us. But if you're just looking to grandstand, have at it. Get frostbite on your ass and die here if it'll make you happy. Come on, let's go home. There's no reason for us to stay here.
I think he's trying to bait Sendri into joining us.
That's what I've been telling you. Go! But I'm not running anymore. I'm going to finish this right now. I've made up my mind, and you won't talk me out of it. I swear on my gold earring.
Yeah, we've been through too much to leave Sendri behind. We won't leave you. Whatever's waiting for you here, we'll face it down together.
Have you lost your mind? We're in the middle of nowhere, in a blizzard, without hats, gloves, or even a fur coat between us. And now with no way home. You'll live to regret this, mark my words you will. But, even so, thank you. You are true friends. Your words have warmed my heart. Well, since we're all stuck here now, onward. Let's take down that masked madman.
All for one. This can't end well. Far from the world of mortals, the portal between the planes slammed shut, cutting off the small party's way back home. They had come so far through the ravaged Canabris, they had evaded so many deadly perils. Surely they had not survived all that only to die without a trace in the freezing cold far from the mortal world. Of course not. But the fate of those brave souls long remained a mystery. To be continued. That's very odd that this is the save. Did it not make a save at the end? No. Huh. Okay, weird. I guess it just assumes that this was the ending, or it was close to the ending. Anyway, that was Through the Ashes, the second story DLC for Pathfinder. This was interesting. I liked a lot of what it was trying to do. It was definitely doing things different, which is what I always like to see in a DLC. I played through the base game. There's a ton of content in the base game. When I'm coming to the DLC, I want to see something odd. I want to see something you haven't done before. A lot of the first DLC was actually stuff you had done before. It was interesting concepts, but it was retreading old ground. It was going through things that you had already mostly seen in the base game. It had like one or two extra mechanics, but in general, it was just more of the same. This one, it did a lot of things differently. I mean, even at the end there, it was showing like their new camera angles and trying to be more cinematic. There's something cool there. It trying to bring in NPCs that aren't part of your main party and make them a mechanic as you're going through. That was also cool. It didn't really work that well for me, but I think that's because it assumed that you would just take every NPC that you came across. I think a lot of this DLC assumed that you would do things in a certain way, and then if you didn't, it kind of fell off a little bit. And I think that's the main problem it has, but I love that they're trying different things. I also think it was an interesting idea to try doing a DLC where XP wasn't tied to combat. That creates a different dynamic when you're playing through the game, because instead of the way that I was playing it for most of the DLC, and I'm trying to get out of that mindset of, okay, we have to clear out every single mob, because if we clear out every single mob, then we're going to get our XP. If we get our XP, then we're going to get level ups, that sort of thing. It was more like, if you make it to this place, you get the XP. I don't care how you made it to that spot, but you will gain your XP. So it actually made it more beneficial a lot of the time to not do combat, because if you didn't do the combat, then you ended up getting the rewards, and you didn't have to use resources. And having that resource management kind of bit there where it was like, okay, you could rest as much as you like, but you're going to have your companion slowly dying on you. That was an interesting idea. Again, didn't work too well for us because our companions ended up dying anyway, but you know, I like that they were trying new stuff. I do think that my companion management was pretty bad, but I think a lot of that was because when we were in the I think where it went truly bad. It was when we were in the caves, like underneath Canabris, gaining so many negative stats in that kind of area, and then negative stats again when we reached the graveyard. I think that caused a lot of our issues, because a lot of the time I was like, well, I need to rest to get rid of these negative stats. I need to use all of our resources to get rid of these negative stats. And I effectively just had some dead weights in the party. I think if we had been in a different situation then, like we had a stronger party, or we had some better rolls somewhere along the line, I think we would have felt a very different DLC. It's almost interesting to go through it again with pre-knowledge. Now, I made a character that was kind of useful, but was missing a lot of the stuff that we were needing for the DLC. Like, we needed a character who could do blunt damage, right? And we weren't really getting that in the caves underneath Canabras. We had very little in terms of blunt damage. So when it gave us the cubes, our game became a lot harder. We needed characters that were doing direct damage with spells. We needed characters... I think the CC was a good idea, but there was a lot of stuff in there that you could optimize a lot better. I think with our party, we would have ended up with a lot more animal companions, for instance, if we were going to optimize better, because animal companions are extremely strong at low levels. We would have ended up with, we wouldn't have taken 2 sorcerers, for instance. We would have taken a lot more party members who were able to remove negative conditions from us, or that were better at fighting undead. The sorcerers were pretty good, but we could have taken somebody who specialized in that, like potentially we could have had a more offensive cleric or something. But yeah, it was still fun to do, and I'm interested to play the next one. I'm assuming that what it's going to do is it's going to start you, I'll say like import your save, like import this save here, and then it'll just start you at level 5 in the next DLC. Either that, or they're going to do another thing where they're like, okay, well that was one character. Now you're going to see the remainder of the story from like the next party's point of view or something. I don't know. But yeah, it's cool. I think there were 4 more DLCs planned for this game. Because there were 3 DLCs in like the first batch. Because there's the Inevitable Excess, Through the Ashes, and then whatever the 3rd DLC is. And I think that the second one for this, from what I've read, is in the second batch. So in the second batch DLC, there's going to be a sequel for this one. I assume there's going to be another one with the main game. And then there's going to be one extra one, whatever that ends up being. But it's interesting. In terms of what's next, there isn't really a lot more Pathfinder content for us to do. I mean, we could obviously start a new playthrough, but what I think we're going to do is we're going to take a small break from Pathfinder, as I would suspect with their DLC schedule, there'll probably be one not that far away. And we'll play that one and then see what their next plans are. Because if the second batch of DLC has got a huge gap between like the 3rd DLC and like the 4th DLC, then there may be some time to do something else. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun. So thank you for watching, and I will hopefully see you whenever the next bit of content comes out. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Goodbye.